Hello, all dear friends. A very good morning to all of you. I welcome you all to this wonderful webinar on RAG, Agentic AI, and Model Contest Protocol. So, this webinar will be a very useful and a time taking webinar basically. So in this you will be learning lot of different things. Okay, so basically you will be learning about how entire RAG pipelines are constructed, what is context protocol works, so that have this webinar. Okay, this webinar is especially focused to the people who are aiming for AI engineering jobs in today's job market. So it is all a very good and a high demand for this kind of domain specific job. Okay, it may be agentic AI, it may be MCP, it may be a prompt engineering job. So you have a very good demand in this domain specific. In this entire 1 hour of webinar, okay, you will be understanding how agents works, okay, how agentic AI applications are built, okay, how you can use a framework called as Google ADK and build your own custom AI agents. And you can use MCP as a model context protocol, and you can understand how you can use MCP in your. Will make sure this 1 hour is very much fruitful to, and also you will be gaining lot of hands-on with and lot of knowledge exposure in this entire webinar journey today. Let us start with what we are going to plan today. So first now, I want to explain about agentic AI. Before we go into agent AI, okay, I want to explain about the evolution of artificial intelligence, how this artificial intelligence came into picture, why we have AI in today's market. Okay, so the thing started long back in 1950s. The AI what we are using today, okay, it did not start in 2020 when ChatGPT was launched. Okay, this AI research was going on from 1950s onwards, when we guys were not even born. Okay, during the independence, Indian independence, the AI evolution usually started. Okay, so it started with your traditional AI, where there it did not had lot of algorithms, and all those things were not developed during those times. It was mostly the rule based system. Okay, like how we use if else conditions, right? Okay, it was purely a rule based system, the first approach that it started. Then came a time when it started gaining importance. Then the domain was shifted to machine learning, where scientists started developing algorithms. So instead of relying on the rule based logic, let us use some kind of algorithms, so that we can be able to increase the accuracy of the product, and we can minimize the human intervention. Okay, see, when it comes to rule based learning, right, you have this human intervention into place. You need to add lots of fuzzy logics, it may be, or you need to add lot of if else conditions, conditionals, flows, loops, and all those things. So more than traditional AI, there was a time they realized that let us decrease and let the algorithm do work for us. Okay, so then machine learning, where the evolution on predictive models started gaining importance. Okay, then second part was uh, classification based algorithms that gaining important, that started gaining more and more importance. Okay, but machine learning was not sufficient during 1960s, 1970s. Machine learning algorithms were developed. Okay, if you could ask me which were the algorithms that were developed, it was mostly uh, linear regression, it may be logistic regression, then you have decision trees, okay, random forest. Okay, so this thing started coming, okay, once the ML algorithms started gaining importance. But the problem with machine learning was not able to capture the entire data point, and coming to accuracy, it was not able to perform well on images, as well as it was not able to give you better accuracy. Okay, from ML, okay, you had to shift to deep learning, where you have a concept called as neural network. Okay, where you have complex patterns, designs, and all those things which could like mimic your human brain. Okay, basically it would think like the way you think, right? Like the way humans think. So it was able to mimic the human brain, and it was able to create a beautiful model where it was rich in accuracy and rich in other metrics as well compared to machine learning. Okay, in 2000, right, this deep learning algorithms started gaining importance and it was started getting developed. In 2014, okay, there was a time where the people realized that we need to come up with something language model which can understand the human emotions, which can understand the human text and give the result based on that. Okay, so there came large language models. Okay, basically today we hear it in the name of chat gpt or gemini, whatever it is. So this development started gaining importance. Actually, Google was the first company which released a paper called as attention is all you need. Okay, through that particular paper, through that particular architecture, it paved the way for transformer architecture, and it paved the way to build a large language model which could literally understand whatever the human had entered the prompt on. Okay, it was a combination of machine learning, deep learning, semantic search, vector embeddings we call it as. Then you have this additive mechanism, feed forward neural network, blah blah blah. Let us not go in depth of how transformer works exactly. Okay, so you have to understand a simple concept. After deep learning, okay, there was a need to build a model which could understand human text. As simple as that. Suppose if I'm giving a text, okay, generally we guys, now we are in 2026 and we have used lot of AI since 2022, since it was launched 4 years ago. Okay, so there was a need to build a model which could understand humans, and based on the human input, which we call it as prompt, it, provides the result and all those things. But now, okay, generative AI is not just enough. Okay, now there is an era of agentic AI. Okay, where again the human intervention. See, if you see a pattern, right, initially in the traditional AI, you had lot of human intervention. This human intervention kept on decreasing, 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 decreasing. Okay, technology is something beautiful like that. Okay, technology comes in the market so has to reduce the human intervention. Before you had, driving cars and all. Today you have self-driving cars. Okay, you don't have to even sit and do the driving. Okay, one thing you can say, that technology is obviously making us lazy, to be frank. Okay, but the there is a race going on in the market. Okay, who is able to reduce the human intervention, he is the winner. Okay, and AI is doing it. That's why AI is winner. Everybody are talking about AI because nowadays now nobody wants to work, to be frank. You need somebody who can work for you. Okay, and if somebody is able to build that system, he is in the market. His name is in the market. That's why you have, big companies called as Anthropic, OpenAI. You know, before even they used to not even exist 4 years back. Okay, we didn't even know that there was a company called as OpenAI which was, building ChatGPT. There was a company called as Anthropic which was building Claude, kind of. You know, this evolution is what is happening in the AI industry right now. Okay, so today we will not be going through generative AI because generative AI is general concept now, because everybody are using AI tools. Okay, it may be text to videos, it may be text to images, it may be text to audios. So you have lot of tools that are there in the market. I need not have to explain you in this particular webinar. Okay, this webinar is focused for those who wants to take up a career in AI engineering. Okay, I'm not here to, help business grows. No, I'm not here to uh, you know give you a AI agent which will help you to do these things. I'm here to teach you how you can build your own AI agent. Okay, so in some days we will have a webinar dedicatively to use different AI agents, for different business use case. Let us have it in the future. But in today's webinar, my focus is completely towards building a agentic AI framework and use it in your custom applications. Okay, so now let us understand what is agentic AI. Very important concept. Okay, so here you must be seeing. Okay, there's a difference. Okay, I would like to explain this difference in a whiteboard so that it will be more convincing. Okay, 1 second. Let me connect my whiteboard. Okay, so before we move to agentic AI, okay, I want you to understand one concept. Okay, first let us understand how AI exactly works. How LLM model works. Okay, for now I will not be going in much technical depth because I don't want the session to be more of technical, having lot of technical content. Okay, simply imagine, okay, this is a magic box. Okay, you have a magic box. Okay, this magic box takes something called as input. Input here refers to human prompt. For example, if I ask what the prompt is like, what is the capital of India? So, okay, this is my prompt which I'm going to ask. So this prompt goes inside a magic box. It does some kind of calculations, okay, and it will predict. Okay, I'm not telling it will give you an answer. It will basically predict. This word has a deeper meaning. Okay, it is going to predict a word. Okay, first, Delhi, then it will be jamun, then vada, then Paris. Okay, then chutney. Okay, example. So it is going to predict something, and this word has a probability. Okay, it is saying that 80% is probable. It is saying 2% it is probable. Vada 1%. Paris somewhere, it says 40% probable. Chutney, it is saying 8% probable. Okay, so based on the highest probability, the word is selected. Okay, based on the highest probability, that is Delhi has a highest probability, the word is selected. Okay, so now when you ask, okay, when you ask a question to a LLM, okay, you ask another question: what is machine learning? Okay, so this question has an input in the magic box, and again it is going to predict our machine learning. Okay, the word itself is there, is a field or subset. Okay, so this, it predicted this word. Okay, now this entire word goes as an input. Okay, this goes as an input, and it is going to reconstruct the next word. Okay, is a subset of AI. Okay, so now this entire word goes as an input to the magic box, and it is going to predict it once again. Okay, so likewise the construction of words happens. Okay, construction of words happens. Machine learning is a subset of AI. Okay, which is used to make predictions and classifications. So this entire output goes as an input again to the magic box, and it gives you an constructed answer. Okay, how it is able to do prediction? Because this magic box, okay, this magic box, what we have, this magic box is trained on internet data. What do I mean by internet data? Okay, whatever that is there on internet. Suppose if I'm asking a education question, for education question you have Wikipedia, right? You have Wikipedia is a source of truth. Okay, whatever it is there in the Wikipedia, we generally believe that is what the answer is about. Okay, so this Wikipedia has been a data source, and magic box was trained on Wikipedia. As I told, this magic box is trained on entire internet data, because Wikipedia is also part of this internet, right? And somewhere it had seen that machine learning definition, so it has seen somewhere, it has biated. Okay, this magic box is biated, so based on that it is doing prediction. Okay, this is what generating the content is. Okay, that's why you call this concept as generative AI. Okay, basically it is generating a new content for you, right? See, it is not going to give you an exact definition that is present all over the internet. Okay, it is going to give you a generic explanation with the constructed answer, because it has seen this particular answer in Wikipedia, and as it was trained on entire internet data, it knows. Okay, internally there is a mechanism. Okay, you have this, forward propagation, backward propagation happening. You have encoder decoder architecture comes up. Okay, then word matching, for that you have attention mechanism. Okay, where basically the meanings are mapped. Okay, then you have a feed forward neural network. Okay, you don't have to go in depth, just understand this magic box is trained on entire internet data, and it does prediction of next word. Okay, the next word goes as an input again to do the reconstruction of the entire sentence. Okay, this is how a AI model works in a much simple way. Don't have to understand, you don't have to scratch your head understanding entire transformer narrative. That is of no use. Okay, now this magic box, also called as an LLM. Okay, this is something called as brain. Okay, this LLM, right? This LLM is called as a brain of brain, because it can think. Okay, if you have used ChatGPT, you must be seeing sometimes if you ask some complex question, you will get a icon called as thinking. Okay, because it has a thinking ability also. But when it comes to Gen AI, okay, its potential is restricted only to give output of an answer. When I give a input prompt, okay, its potential is only restricted to give the output. It cannot do things for me, for myself. Okay, this definitely cannot do things for myself. It can only take input and it can generate output for you. Okay, but what if, okay, I will give you an example. If I want to order a pizza from Domino's, okay, I will give a simple example. I want to order a pizza from Domino's. Okay, I cannot go to ChatGPT and ask it to do it. Okay, because ChatGPT cannot do it. ChatGPT can give me the output. Okay, it can give me the steps. Go to open Domino's app, add to cart, do the payment. Okay, it can give you the step, but it cannot do things for you. What if I attach some tools? Okay, what if I attach some tools which could literally order pizza for me? What if I had attached a tool to the LLM? This is a LLM, right? Okay, see, ChatGPT does not have access to my Domino's app. Okay, what if I attach the API of Domino's app? Okay, where literally it has a backend code written in some Flask or Fast API. Okay, and this tool was able to queue the data of Domino's at the real time, and it had a I had another tool, phone pay tool. Okay, phone pay API to make payment. Okay, if I'd attached these two tools to my brain, don't you think it would have ordered pizza for me? It's a simple question, right? Yes, this is possible in today's world now. Okay, so using agentic AI, okay, using agentic AI, you can give power to an LLM to make or do things for you. Okay, see, agentic AI is not a new concept. Okay, it is not an entire new concept. Simple, you have an LLM. Okay, you have an LLM and you are attaching legs for it, or hands and legs. You have a brain already. Okay, you are attaching legs and hands so that it can walk and do things for you. What did I mean by hands and legs here? Basically, you're attaching tools. So this concept is very important. Okay, so without tools, your LLM is just a generative AI magic box. That's it. It cannot do things for you. It has a brain, it can give you steps, but if you want it to really perform, if you want it to really work for you, okay, you need to attach to, like how I gave it a simple pizza wala example. Okay, similarly, if you want to book a cab, okay, let us take cab booking. Okay, let me take a Google image so that to make it more interesting. Okay, so booking a cab. Okay, so now what you usually do, you open an app. Okay, you put from, okay, and to, okay, to and from, whatever it is. Okay, and it gives you a bunch of available cars. It may be available autos, it may be available bikes, it may be, okay, and you do the payment and the booking is done. What if you build a chatbot just by prompt? Okay, please book me, please book me a cab, okay, four wheeler, non AC, okay, from Jaynagar, Bangalore to Marathalli. Simple. Okay, so you write a prompt, please book me a cab, four wheeler, non AC, from Jaynagar to Bangalore. Okay, and cab is booked. This is the power of agentic AI. Power of agentic AI. So basically how the system architecture works. Okay, I'm not here to only give you theoretical data. Okay, I'm going to teach you how the system architecture works. Okay, so basically you have a chatbot. Okay, maybe, okay, if you are good at React, okay, you must have built using React.js. Okay, then you have a backend where you could use fast API, best framework for AI. Okay, backend. So this is your front end. Okay, this is your backend. Okay, in front end, now here you have this chat, like how you have chat GPT interface, Claude Gemini interface, right? You have an input box and you have an icon. Here you have slide where the history gets stored, and this is your prompt. Okay, AI prompt and all those things. So this is the front end is what you build. Okay, so this simple front end can be built easily. Okay, you have AI tools, Claude Code and all. Okay, you have fast API. Okay, this is the main thing where it comes in the picture. Okay, this fast API has a integration with LLM. Has an integration with LLM. Okay, so LLM has another integration with different tools. Tools one. Okay, make it tool one, tool two, maybe tool three, tool four. Okay, so this is your front end and this is your back end. These both are interconnected. Okay, so this is how the application should be built. Okay, suppose if I want to build an application for Uber using agentic AI. Okay, this is how I would build. Okay, so coming to LLM. Okay, LLM, see, right now when it comes to LLM, okay, you have open source and you have closed source. Okay, so open source is an LLM which has something called as free to use. Okay, for this, now if you ask me, sir, which one you have, okay, basically you have something called as Hugging Face. where you have open source LLM and you have Olama. Okay, simple. But closed source, okay, these are open source, but these models are not that powerful. These models are not that powerful when it comes to open source LLM. Okay, coming to closed source, okay, you have these OpenAI GPT models, Gemini. Okay, these are all closed source. They are not openly available. Okay, it is a proprietary of a company. Then you have Claude. Okay, then you have many Grok. Grok is open source. Okay, you have many tools, but the problem with open source and closed source, this is what you have to understand. Okay, the problem with open source and closed source is open source na, they need very good computation power. Okay, these models are not lightweight. Okay, these are heavyweight models. You need GPUs for that, you need RAM for that, you need ROM for that. Okay, then coming to this thing here, you have lot of infrastructure problem. You need to scale up, put a infrastructure where you can do load balancing and all those things. That comes in the next picture. But closed source is what they give you APIs. Okay, I can use Gemini API and I can build my LLM. Okay, I can use Claude. Okay, I'll show you one example how we can attach tools and get it done. Okay, you can use Gemini API and get it done. So I will use APIs, which is nothing but LLM. I will use Gemini API, which is now freely available for 10-15 requests. Okay, so this APIs has something called as tools that is attached. Okay, suppose if I want to build a Uber application, first I will connect API of Uber. Okay, basically it is not publicly freely available. Okay, I am giving you a rough system design how we can do API Uber. Okay, then you have payment gateway API. Okay, then maybe you have a email, basically it has to confirm now. Then you have SMS API. Okay, so now this LLM is filled with these tools. Okay, now LLM has enough capacity to process. Suppose if I pass a prompt, book me a cab, okay, from this place to this place, this request is taken to the backend. Okay, you have, you write REST frameworks here. Okay, REST API frameworks you write. Okay, this framework calls this LLM. Okay, LLM will process and the request goes back to this. Okay, this is your post. You're posting the information and this will pull the request. Okay, so basically get. So this is how the architecture works. So with LLM now you will get a greater capacity to handle these things. Get a greater capacity to handle these things easily. I hope I have made you understand how this architecture works. Okay, but now I have mentioned something called as MCP. What is that MCP? Okay, imagine, okay, the tools that have, okay, this works on REST framework, right? It has some kind of endpoint. Okay, coming to the tools. Okay, MCP is restricted to the tools. Okay, MCP comes in the tools layer. MCP, model context protocol. Okay, it comes in the tools layer. Okay, so basically, as I told you, have an LLM here. One second, sorry. Okay, this is your LLM. Okay, LLM, large language model. So this will be connected with some tools, as I told you. Okay, these tools now, for example, if I want to book a cab, we'll take a same cab example. This is your Uber API key, API endpoint. Okay, so you have a endpoint called as slash book. Okay, then you have called as slash select. Okay, this is your URL. Okay, and you have this API endpoint. which is called a slash book slash select. You already know, okay, if you use a browser you will get slash this slash that. Okay, imagine tomorrow Uber makes some changes in the API, and I have to make sure whenever I'm attaching tool now I need to pass this URL, that is rest framework I need to pass in the code. Only then this will be able to make a request. Imagine tomorrow Uber did some changes in this. Okay, Uber was able to do some changes. Instead of slash book, now what it did slash booking. Let us take an example. Slash booking it did. Okay, it changed its endpoint, API endpoint. And when I am using the application, and imagine if if I'm using a Uber chatbot to build to build this entire infrastructure. Okay, my chatbot would not reach the request because the endpoint has been changed from book to booking. Okay, so this was the issue that was going on, because every time you see there is an update going on in the software. Okay, that's why you have a guy called as MCP. Okay, he came in the picture. Who released it? Anthropic. Okay, Anthropic has a Anthropic's model, na, Claude, Sonnet, Haiku, then Anthropic Dario company, basically they launch something called as MCP. So what MCP will do, simple as that. Okay, so see, instead of doing the tool call directly, okay, they have set up something called as MCP server. Okay, MCP server has all the events. Okay, get server, then you have, sorry, get server, get bookings, blah blah blah. Okay, and this MCP server, okay, interacts with your Uber endpoint. And okay, if Uber tries to do something, they have to follow the guidelines given by MCP. That's why MCP is called as model context protocol. It is, I mean, there is some guidelines which they have to follow. Okay, instead of using this Uber endpoint directly, like slash this thing, okay, what I will do, I will attach this MCP server, and this MCP server will communicate with my LLM. MCP server is going to communicate with my LLM. Okay, now the request goes to MCP server, not the Uber endpoint. So before now, as I explained in the architecture, okay, before the request used to go to Uber endpoint from here. The request used to flow here. But imagine same thing, every company wants to update its software. So instead of request flowing from here to here, it goes and hits the MCP server. Now MCP server, irrespective of any changes they do, okay, they will make sure that the things are according to MCP standards. And directly I'll make a call to MCP server and I'll get the information. Okay, this almost fixed the issue that was running since AI evolution. Okay, MCP server made sure that directly you can use their events. These are called as events. Directly I can use events. Okay, instead of calling the REST API, I can the REST framework, I can directly use their events. Okay, this is how the evolution happened. Okay, that's why you can see every companies wants to integrate AI in their system. Okay, if you have seen Canva did not have Canva AI. Okay, now if you just go to Google and just type Canva, okay, you will find their AI also. Okay, see, you can generate the design using their. Every companies are moving from traditional approach to AI based approach. Okay, that's why a lot of jobs vacancies going on in an AI engineering. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, if you ask me what is the roadmap to prepare it, or have a dedicated syllabus for that, we will guide you with that. Okay, I'll be explaining you that at the end of the session. Okay, let us continue with the slide. Okay, so we have understood how agentic AI works. Sorry. Okay, as I told you, okay, now Anatomy of an AI agent. As I told you, LLM is the core brain. Okay, these are all the tools. See, it has tools basically which will call the function. Okay, it does not have only tools. Only tools are not present. It has something called as, you can attach RAG, vector bases. Okay, external APIs. Then outer layer, you can attach memory also. Obviously, right? It has to remember what it has given. Otherwise, building AI agentic chatbot is of no use. Okay, you need to integrate some kind of databases for it. Only then it will be able to get the information, right? Okay, so this is how it is. Then you have something called as planning engine. Okay, basically it will, it will decide how to plan, how to make implementation plan. Okay, if you have used I think if you are a software developer, you must have used agent, this thing, anti-gravity, right? Anti-gravity has a planning engine. Okay, basically when you give a prompt, it will plan the strategy first, it will give you a implementation plan, then it will go on proceeding doing whatever you requested for. Okay, this is how the AI agent anatomy works. Okay, obviously, right? See, I explained about the MCP. Okay, MCP acts as a middleman between your tools and your LLM. You don't have to worry. See, MCP is an open standard that enables AI assistants, that is LLM, to securely connect with external tools, data, APIs, enterprise application, turning passive chatbot into active integrated agent. Okay, even though if they try to do some changes, you don't have to worry, because you are interacting with a MCP, not their tools directly. Okay, this is the benefit of using MCP in your application. So suppose if you want to integrate database, you have a database MCP, you have a MySQL MCP, then you have email MCP, Slack MCP. Okay, direct integration is also dead easy. Okay, so why MCP? Okay, very important concept. Why MCP came into picture? Okay, as I told you, MCP bridges the gap between your conversational AI and the real world action, enabling agents that don't just talk but do, as I told you. Okay, there is a difference between using chat GPT and using agentic AI application. Okay, see, traditional AI it only can give you an answer, it does not. Okay, now some, chat GPT and all has got persistent memory, persistent in the sense which you can remember for long. Okay, but it cannot execute tasks, as you say. Okay, it cannot do tasks for you, no APIs or tools it can access. But agentic AI plus MCP is something different that is booming now. Okay, where you can use tools, plugins. Okay, then you can execute multi-step workflows. Okay, you can, design your own workflows. Okay, starting workflow, ending workflow, how the process has to begin, how the process has to end, and all those things. Okay, see, there is a huge business opportunity. Okay, when it comes to agentic AI. Now AI is not just restricted to civil engineering, sorry, computer engineering. Okay, it is now restricted to every field. Okay, in banking also you need AI. Okay, see, loan assistant, you have KYC automation, fraud detection. Okay, AI you need. Okay, you need it in education also, like grading, personal assistant, then attendance tracking and all those things. Every patient, doctor need to migrating towards MCP. Okay, manufacturing and retail, every businesses, there is no businesses which you can say that I cannot AI integrate AI. Have a position called as forward deployment, if you have heard of it. Okay, forward deployment engineer, basically it's a very huge booming uh, career that is, happening across US, and it is soonly coming to India also, where you have a AI engineer. Okay, which can go to other businesses and, convert their entire infrastructure to AI. Okay, so that's what. So coming to the workflow which I explained. Okay, this is how you orchestrate everything. Okay, this is how you build a workflow, where you have a front end. Okay, then you have a back end. It runs on Google ADK, communicates with MCP server, and it is going to return you the response of it. Okay, we have already discussed it. So what is the future career, if you ask me? Okay, what is the future career in agentic AI? Obviously, you have agentic AI engineer, where every companies need it. Okay, this is something that is different from traditional software development process. Okay, here you are completely overtaking agentic AI and you're building it. Then you have LLM. Okay, LLM basically is a large language model engineer, where your work is to handle the LLM infrastructure, handling LLM provisioning, okay, using different kinds of model, integrating the model in your traditional application. Okay, this is what the LLM engineering is all about. Then you have prompt engineering, AI architecture, okay, MCP developer, very much booming field. Okay, every companies that are working on AI needs MCP developers, because as I told you, MCP can automate many things. MCP, when you integrate, you don't have to worry about the tools, okay, which uses only the endpoint based calling. Okay, directly you can integrate MCP, and much of your business problems can be nullified. Okay, then you have AI automation engineer, very high booming domain. Okay, because every companies are now going towards automation. They don't see, everyone wants to reduce the human efforts, as simple as that. Okay, they want to reduce human efforts. Those who can be able to reduce human effort is a winner in today's world. Okay, then you have cloud, obviously, right? So when you build a model, you cannot store it in your computer. Okay, you have to put it in the internet. Okay, you have to make sure that everybody are using it. Okay, for everybody to use it, okay, you need this cloud AI engineer, okay, who can you know take care of the operations part, okay, of your LLM model. So definitely yes. Okay, we are pioneers in bringing young people, in upskilling young people towards the AI journey, making sure they have a very stable career in the future, and their job is like almost secured for years together. Okay, so this is not the end of the session. I'll show you the practical part of it. Okay, before that, we are from Techmia EdTech. Okay, and we are pioneers in developing the new technology with respect to AI and robotics. And also, we have already been into the industry, where we have trained so many students, so many people, and we have made their life successful in AI journey. Okay, and now they're successfully working on AI domain. Okay, we can give you an entire roadmap, how you can prepare for AI engineering, and how we can make your future life secure. Okay, so kindly follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. Okay, and you can note our numbers. Okay, these are our numbers. We take enrollments for AI based learning. Okay, something, see, before you had full stack, before you had data analytics and all those things. Now the future is about agentic AI. Okay, every company wants to integrate AI agents, and we are here to help you out with that. Okay, so that's what, this is how we will be able to train you in a much better way with scratch. 6 months of training boot camp we have, where we will train you end to end solution. Okay, so next. Okay, so there is a coupon, okay, in the end of this webinar, okay, where we are offering this course for just 19K. Okay, just 19K. That too you can pay in the installments. This entire course will cost you around 45K in the market, but the same course with data analytics, deep learning, and ML ops. See what all we are going to cover. Okay, see, data analytics and machine learning will be covered. Then you have deep learning and ML ops. Okay, because as a AI engineer, you should know everything. There is nothing called as this is the book that you have to read and you can become an AI engineer. Okay, then you have NLP and transform. So individually, it will cost you 90K. Okay, but limited seats, for that we are charging 45K. But for today's exclusively for webinar, okay, we are offering this particular program at 20,000 only. Okay, we are going to upskill you entire AI based journey, as I explained. Okay, where we will teach you how to build your own custom chatbot. Since we have industry level projects, we will give you capstone projects, so that you can have a better hands on experience. Okay, interested people can just drop your DM. Okay, and we will communicate with you to our uh, telecalling team. Okay, now I will show you the demonstration completely. Okay, we will do a practical today. I will teach you how you can build a simple AI agent and you can attach a tool. Okay, first one, I want you to create a folder in your desktop. So create a folder. Okay, I have named it as webinar AI agent. Okay, and you have to open this in VS Code. Okay, if you have If you have ideally VS Code, or if you have anti-gravity, you can open it. Just type code space dot and this will be opened in the VS Code. Okay, let me rename the uh, folder. It's okay, not an issue. Okay, now you can open the terminal. Always the first thing whenever you're building an application, you have to make sure that you have Python installed. Okay, so to verify, you just have to type Python hyphen version. Okay, so you have Python installed. The first thing that you are supposed to do is to create a virtual environment. Okay, to create a virtual environment, you have to give a command called as Python hyphen m venv and venv. Okay, this will create a virtual environment, and here you can see a folder gets created. Okay, let us wait until it gets created. Okay, my env is attached. So next thing I'm going to do is to activate the environment. To activate, just type venv slash scripts slash activate. Okay, so this will activate. Okay, 1 second. It is activate. Okay, so if this symbol appears, that means your venv is activated. Now the next step, you have to create a file called as requirements.txt. Okay, once the file is created, okay, you need to write a package. 1 second. Okay, so in requirement.txt, you need to write the package name, that is Google hyphen adk. Okay, and save it. Okay, now once the requirement is done, just you need to install pip install hyphen r requirements.txt. Okay, this will basically install the requirement that you write, the packages that you write inside the requirements.txt. It will install everything at once. Okay, you don't have to worry about doing it manually, one by one. Okay, this is going to install the package Google adk for this class. Okay, let us wait until the package is installed. Then you don't have to create any kind of any kind of files here. Okay, Google adk gives you a boilerplate code where with just a command entire code gets created. Let me show you how you can do it. Okay, for this you need to install all the packages that is required, and Google adk brings all the packages for you. Okay, so until the package is installed, okay, let me tell you what Google ADK is. Okay, so Google ADK, okay, it is a agentic AI framework developed by Google. Okay, through this framework you can build your AI agents, multiple AI agents, okay, agentic AI chatbot, and you can do the deployment as well. Okay, so this particular framework will help you achieve these many things. Okay, so that is what you will be learning. Okay, because this Google ADK, if you mention this in your resume, you are most likely to get a call, most likely to get a call easily. Okay, so let me check whether it is in. So okay, uh, let me check. So now you have the command, that is ADK create uh, underscore agent. Okay. Mm, 1 second, I think the package is not installed properly. Okay, so if the package is not installed properly, you can get the error like that, that ADK is, it doesn't recognize ADK as a term. Okay. So if you have anything, you can put me in comment section. Okay, so that we'll be able to answer your query until the package is getting installed. So it'll take little time, I guess. So I'm going to show you here itself where I have all the modules of ADK and everything is installed. Okay, let me activate the VNV slash script slash activate. Okay. Huh. So you get a boilerplate code right now. You just ignore about the modules that are present here. Okay. So you just have to type Google first. Let me see. I'm inside. Okay. So you don't have any folders. Okay. All are module wise folders. I'm going to create a agent here. ADK create my underscore agent. So a folder gets created over here. Hmm. So now it is asking, okay, which model you want to choose. I will go with Gemini 2.5. Okay, I will use Google AI. Okay, it is asking for a key. Okay, I have a key already in some module. Okay, so I'm going to use this key basically and paste it over here. Enter. Okay, so it will create a folder called as my agent. Here you can see, okay, my agent is present. So this is a boilerplate code, you will get it. Okay, a helpful assistant for user question, answer user question to the best of your knowledge. Okay, so this is, so it gives you the answer. So it gives you the answer. That's it. So this is the benefit of using Google ADK, because you don't have to do a lot of coding in this. See, this boilerplate code was also given by it easily. Okay, see, it is started. Okay, it is serving in 8000 port. Let me copy this and paste it over here. See how beautifully it has selected. Okay, here you can select your app. Okay, you can go to my agent. Okay, and you can type what is machine learning. So this UI is given by ADK itself. Okay, see, you got an answer. Machine learning is a branch of this thing, this thing, this thing, that thing, that thing. Okay, suppose if you ask who won, who won the IPL in 2026, which company? Okay, which, sorry, which team won the trophy, IPL trophy in 2026? So if I ask it now, it cannot give answer because it is not trained on that. Here you can see your project has been denied and please contact. So you get an error. Basically, it doesn't know what is an answer. It knows only on the data which it is trained on. Okay, if I ask what is AI, okay, it can answer because it has an information about it. Okay. Mm, okay, there is some issue with it, not a problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do, okay, so now you're attaching tools. Okay, now you're attaching tools. So how you're basically attaching tools is what I'm going to say. Okay, so what I will give you, one second. Okay, so you have a library that you can use for this from google.adk.agents. I think it is tools. Okay, then you have Google search, Google underscore search, import, Google search. Okay, from google.adk.tools. Okay, dot google hyphen search. Okay, import Google search. So here now you can just pass tools. Okay, tools equal to Google search. Okay, so I already have a code for this. Let me show you. In my agents I have used a lot actually. Okay, yeah, LLM also you can use. Okay, this is a very good framework actually. I will be trying you with this. Okay, let me run it and let once again. Okay, just you have to type Control C and just write ADK web. Okay, now I will open this in another window. Okay, just paste it. Okay, you can select my agent, and now you can ask who won the which team. Okay, basically which team won the IPL trophy in 2026. Getting some permission error. Okay, so basically I have attached a tool. Okay, I have done a tool call attachment. So it is going to get the agent, and it is going to give you the data basically. Okay. Okay, so you can attach tools like Google search, it can do, and basically it can attach the tools. Okay, so maybe this error I can resolve it. Let me reload this once again. Okay, I'll check with this. Okay, there is some issue with respect to code. Okay, so you can attach the tools, and basically it is going to give you an output. Okay, like this trophy, this cover, RCB won the trophy in 2026 in IPL, and so and so. Okay, then you have can get multiple tools, and you can easily add it over here. Okay, that is also possible. Okay, so you get a dedicated CLI also for this. Okay, I'll show you that as well, where you can use CLI and get it done. If you do ADK hyphen hyphen help, okay, this is going to show you what all data that is present inside can be done. Okay, so you can do run, you can use rep, so ADK run also you can use. Okay, ADK web, you will get it for interface. ADK run, you can use ADK apps or API server, you can start. Okay, internally it is using fast API server only. Okay, so you get migrate option, you get optimize option, you get web option. Okay, so many things are there when it comes to Agentic AI framework. So definitely yes, we have a particular roadmap where we can help you out with how to deal with the entire program structure. Okay, so for any query related issues, please drop a DM and our team will get back to you. Okay, thank you for attending this wonderful webinar, and if you have any query, please post it in the comment section. Okay, so nice to see you guys. Have a nice day. Okay, if there's any query, please drop it in the comment section. Okay, thank you.